it's given me more credibility because people know you by your children, man. If you meet my children first, and this is what happens most of the time, people meet my children and they want to meet me. And when they meet me, they're like, dude, I'm not sure what you did.
Hello and welcome to Holistic Circle Podcast, Spiritual Conversation. My name is Philipp Kobald. We are reaching out to people who are passionate about spreading light, love, and joy. And I'm happy to have here from LA, uh, King McQueen McCullers.
You close. When King Malik McCullers Sr. All
Malik,
and
Malik.
King Malik,
Ah,
all is
ah,
well, man. All is well.
I did it
The
again.
love is good, man. Love is good. You already know. All is well.
I'm so sorry, but thank you for your kind understanding. It's good to make a spiritual podcast because the guests have to be nice and kind and
Hey,
compassionate.
that's the part.
Otherwise,
But respect of the energy that we all are in this thing together, man. You know?
yeah, you don't know that, but that is my cunning test, saying the name wrong just to show my audience what a lovely person you are.
Oh, hey, it works, man. It works. Whatever works, it's good. All is well. All is well. Thank you for having me again, man. I appreciate
Thank you so much for coming. I'm looking forward for quite a bit the whole day. I'm looking forward for this conversation because we had such a wonderful meet and greet. And I already felt like tons of connection between us, and we have a very strong story to share. So that's one of the podcasts where I'm like, I'm gonna sit here, listen, and enjoy. It's some podcasts are a lot of work for the host to get the ball rolling, and in your case, and just in for the
you.
ride. So I'm really looking forward. If you'd be so kind, give the audience a small introduction, who you are, what you do, a little background, 2 or 3 minutes, so people get to know
Not a
you.
problem. My name is Love King Malik McCullers Sr. I put love in front of it because I want to express and be that example of unlimited, unconditional love. And based upon that, we get the energy that we put out. I am a father of 12, same empress. We homeschooled all of our children, 10 are still with us. I'm very grateful to say that I'm a healer first. I'm a father and a husband first, and I am embedded in that opportunity. That's what is first, and then I realized as a result of that, I have become a healer in the aspect of my whole family, myself first, and just knowing that's what we're here. So, as far as that, I'm a healer. I'm a father. I am a very. I consider myself connected to source in the way of sharing love in its highest perspective from an avatar perspective. You know what I'm saying? I'm just here to do what I can to raise the vibration. Me and my whole
And you are a very modest self-introducer
thank you, man. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I appreciate
because there's like a lot more going on
yeah,
with
it
you.
really is. I just wanted to be respectful to time and everything because there's so much going on with me, man. Every day is something new, and I'm just in the modalities of all this love, hypnotherapy, NLP, Reiki, life healing, crystal healing, sound healing. I'm really, really invested in healing. And that's kind of like what it is. But yeah, you're right. A lot
Right.
more.
And you have a very compelling life story. You had quite a journey already. You're still young, but you had quite a journey. I'm not going to the children yet because I need a little time to get there.
No problem.
Because I have one and I'm fully covered.
I,
I need a little
I
time.
respect that. Well, good, very, very positive, prosperous vibrations for the one because one is to me like 10, like 12, like 20, because the love is the love. And they desire, they want it regardless.
My friend, I talk about time management. I talk about making breakfast. I'm talking about grocery shopping. I mean, birthdays. I'm not getting into love, but that's all right. That's okay. I got that
I got
covered.
you.
But
I feel you.
time management, that's a different
Right.
ball
No, it
game.
really is, man. It really is. And so much so, Philip, I've deleted time in my experience. I know that we're in the space of knowing that now is now at all times. And I put so many things together in my early life that I was on a certain schedule with. And the older I got and the more serious my life got in terms of my responsibilities to my family, to my elders and everything, I realized it wasn't working out in the time frame, but it was working out more so in the alignment. It's like, and I realized it after the fact. It might not have been on time, but I realized it came exactly when it was supposed to because it aligned up with the next process of this experience. So yeah, I'm grateful. And the time is like I said, the reason I can so-called manage it if that's the case is because I don't feel it's there. Just go with the now, man. And everything is now. So I'm just ready.
Give me a little time and we get
Yeah.
there.
All is well, and you got it. You
But,
got it. We are parallel to each other. So I have what you have, what I have. We just have to switch it on at times.
all right. Okay. Let's get serious. Let's get serious. I was very intrigued about one particular part of your story that I haven't come across very often in life. And that's a person who I've really embraced. I use the word, I think, a lot of different religion. That's you really had a traveling journey where you have been engaged, as far as I understood from our conversation, in a lot of different religion. You went in there, you embraced them, you took the knowledge, the wisdom, and then kind of you moved on. Give us a couple of minutes and take us through that the journey,
Well,
what you found, what was the good, what was the bad, what made you move on. Just speak from the heart, what comes to mind.
well, thank you so much. Okay. So I started out not having a religion or any spiritual background. I thought the first God and goddess I knew were my mom and my dad. That's all I knew. And I'm from Detroit, Michigan. And in Detroit, Michigan, back in the day, I was born in 68. Back in the day, it wasn't much advertising everywhere about church Christian and all that type of stuff or Muslim and anything like that. It wasn't much, but I do remember seeing a lot of signs that said God is love, God is love. God. And I saw my mom praying all the time because my mom's from Alabama. She's from a Christian background, but she didn't raise me to start like that. A time in our lives where my parents were having issues, 8-year age, my mom had to send me to her mother in Alabama because of just them getting arrangements, getting us working a relationship out. So I had to go there, and they were adamant Christians. My uncle, pastor of the church, my auntie, which is my mother's sister, first lady of the church, and that's who I actually went to stay with because my grandmother stayed with them. So I went from no church, no nothing like that, from having to learn how to read the Bible, going to church every Sunday, Wednesday, Saturday, and sometimes on Friday because they had things going on like prayer meeting, they had Bible study, they had the regular church service. And then because I came from a family of singers, my mother was a songbird when she was younger in the church, and my auntie automatically took me and made me sing like the choir. I was the lead singer for the choir. And that part I like singing, but the church thing, the energy was different because I saw how the cousins that were my age, how everything was, and they were pressed. We had to do everything. We get a spanking for anything. If you did not read the Bible for a certain period of time, you didn't know the Lord's Prayer, if you didn't know that kind of stuff. So it was instilled heavily, forcefully. And I never agreed with it. I never tapped into it. Now, mind you, that was the year 8 years old. Okay. So fine. Well, when we moved back, when mom moved me back home, everything, parents had started working things out. Things got a little different. Life went on. No religion. Didn't go back to going to church or anything. So my mother, like I say, she wasn't going to church. That only happened when I went to Alabama. Went back. Fast forward, my parents got a divorce. My mother remarried and moved to Alabama. So high school years, I was forced to be in the Christian faith. But then I took it serious because I'm like, okay, this has to mean something. I was younger. It didn't really resonate. I saw how it was, but now I'm really seeking an understanding of being a better person. And now I've connected into spirit because I've had all of these things. I had a near death experience when I was 4, didn't realize that it was connected to my spiritual awakening for now, but it goes on. So when I got to Alabama, high school, having to be forced, same thing, back in the choir, literally from 10th grade, from ninth grade to about 11th grade. I never missed church, never missed anything like that. In my 12th grade year, I told my mom I just couldn't do it. It didn't seem right to me. It was always people fussing in the church, and no disrespect. I saw a lot of things that the church said don't do, everybody in the church was doing. So it just didn't make sense to me. And I'm just walking through, attempting to be that, but going through so many changes and realizing that I don't know. But fast forward, get my life into the streets. Now to go to the military, straight out of high school. Helicopter crash on on the ship gets me the reward to come home at 21 years old. On my 21st birthday, I was released from the military. Came home, went to school, got a very good education, couldn't get a job. Couldn't get a job, like really in the area I was in because I went back to the South and it was just, I couldn't get a job. So me having the energy that I have, me coming from where I came from, I was just from the streets in a sense. From in Detroit, I learned a lot of hustle. So I started hustling. I had a lot of friends in high school who didn't do anything after high school. They just went straight to the streets. So I got the opportunity to come back after I got disturbed about no job. I went and got heavily in the streets. I do things heavy. You know what I'm saying? I got so heavy that I'm not proud of that life, but I'm grateful for the experience. I lost a lot of friends. My best friend, he lost his life. Someone robbed him, came to his house 15 minutes after I left and killed him and his wife in front of his children. You know what I mean? And that affected my life. And I changed tremendously, from an angry person to a really kind of fanatic, but my life really changed really fast. I ended up going to jail for something that I'd say I didn't do the specific thing, but because of the energy I was hosting and the people I was with, I was very guilty of just being present. And in prison, okay, sure, mind you, excuse me. A couple of weeks before prison, a brother tried to give me a holy Quran. He was saying, "Bro, you seem like you need to be like paying attention to the Islamic faith." And I wasn't interested, but he gave me the holy Quran because I loved him as a person. I took it. I read the first passage and just put it down. So I end up in prison. And how about a brother came to me and said, "Hey, man, I got a vision that somebody gave you a holy Quran and you didn't even read it." And he gave me another. And he said, "Read this, brother." And I read it, and it just resonated with me while I was where I was. It seemed like the words were piercing to my experience. They touched every part of me. It was the oneness of the Creator, taking the Shahada, believing that it's one God and not from a more basic place. I could believe that more than I could Christianity. It just made more sense. So as life went on, I was fortunate to get my case reversed. We're in the state that I was in, the only case in the whole year to get reversed. So that was phenomenal for me. And I had been fighting for, and my experience younger, I want to run back to this right quick. My grandmother passed away when I was younger. And I had a problem with death. And I asked her, "Please, grandma, don't die. I love you." She told me, "I'll never die. I'll never die. I'm going to die with a smile on my face. I'm going to go to sleep for the last time with a smile on my face. And then you'll know I'm not dead. But I will need you to listen for me. Hear my voice. When you hear me, you know that I'm present with you. And I promise you for everything." My grandmother passed away with that big smile on her face. And she's been communicating with me since. And I didn't realize it as much until in prison. Okay, so back to that part. I'm in reading and I have some experiences. And my grandmother's telling me, like, okay, she literally came to me in the presence of energy and said, "You're doing the right thing. Focus on your awareness." And that's all I heard from her. Also, early on, one of my younger cousins had passed away in a car accident. He literally came to me in the cell, and I physically, spiritually, in my spirit, in my world, he was there. And we had such an engagement, and he made me realize that death does not, he confirmed what my grandmother said. He made me realize that death does not exist, that it's a process of us shifting through these quantums, and I have access to it. I took that very serious, and I'm still praying and everything, got out. And for 20 something years, I was sincere about Al Islam. And then I had been in the process studying Judaism, Hinduism, and Buddhism. When I started with Buddhism, it's like I had a whole different feeling come over my being. And on my 40th birthday, I literally woke up and couldn't pray again. I couldn't do the Islamic prayer anymore. It's like my whole system just stopped. That's not what I am I am. I am one with the source. I don't have to do these other things. And I'm not, downing anything else because it really opened my awareness to everyone else. And I started having a much more respect for Christians and Muslims and everything. Because as a Muslim, I would saw a Christian's head off. As a Christian, I would saw a Muslim's head off in terms of like we dialoguing. And none of it's necessarily wrong or right. It's just your choice. And once I got to the point of the awareness of the oneness of self, I just got past all religion and now I feel like I'm the oneness of all of them. And my walk is now love and looking at the fact of, like I told you in the experience when we were speaking, We're human beings. We're vessels. We're having a physical experience as a spirit being. We're all that one, connected to that one. Okay. To prove that we're all that one, like I said, we could be 5 feet apart from each other and see your frame, you see mine. We go 3 feet. You know what I'm saying? We get eye to eye, brother. We don't see each other anymore. We see the reflection of ourselves. So that to me makes us one, all of us. And that's the same thing with my animals. Now that I look at plants, I can see the energy and the reflection of myself. So it has opened my awareness to my head. So that's the reason I've taken that even more serious and just went totally into that perspective. And then the dialogue that I have with different people is different. I don't have a I have a more receiving. I can receive everything now from the perspective of a clear understanding rather than having to debate because I hear something that does not go with what I see or how I see it. I feel everyone should experience challenging themselves to other systems just to see. But I challenge everyone to hey, do some research on the Buddha and how he saw things and see how Jesus is the Buddha, how Muhammad is the Buddha, how everyone is all the same in the aspect of that energy for me. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not in compulsion anyone's belief system because I love
By pure logic, if you don't even think about any details, if you just think pure logically, they all have to be the same. Otherwise, we would have some old Greek Olympus with hundreds of gods out there. I think we moved on, and I think we all agree that there is only one God. There is no other solution that we all talk about the same God. Otherwise, the whole damn thing wouldn't work anyway, right?
indeed, indeed. And it's so clear for all of us. And I can challenge people to experiences like, okay, every human being that I know that I have spoke to over 14 years old, because I'm just going off my own seas right now. I recognize it being 13, 14-year-old mark that they really seem to start becoming more aware, especially in my presence. And I recognize the shift of awareness, just like you said, just being given an opportunity to look at something else. Because when I was Muslim, I was like, Holy Quran, you got to read a certain passage for a certain amount of time a day. Now I'm like, read everything you can read if it applies to the awakening or the awareness or the raising of the vibration in all ways. Because and it is all one. I don't care what it looks like. We're all in service to the one certain to me, we're all the same energy field. We're just on different vibrational levels, different quantities, all at the
Right.
same time.
That's a reoccurring theme in most of spirituality. Either it's great to be part of an organized religion and it's well laid out and it's a well developed plan and you just follow the path and it brings you to the oasis and that's what it's supposed to be. And people who don't have that time, have that energy, resources, or simply just don't have the space for it. It's great. It's better than nothing. That's for sure.
Mhm.
And people like you and me and many others who want to go out there on their own and do the searching and do the digging and do the hard work. People like you and me don't know if we will ever find the oasis, but we know we gotta look. That's what we gotta do. And it's a hard part, but that's the only part that is available to us.
Indeed. You know what happened to me, Philip? I realized that I started just something came over me, and I'm looking at it like it's the guides, the angels, the ancestors, just the awakening and the experience, right? But I was just told to all modalities of healing. If you heard something about a crystal, go do a research and see. If you heard something about Reiki, do research. If you heard something about frequency healing, do some. We're all energy beings, and all of these things are energy. You know what I'm saying? So if since that is the case, all of it can apply. It can apply in some way depending on where you are vibrationally and you're receiving it. Because if you believe, just like this, if you believe this crystal right here, this citrine crystal right here will heal you,
I love citrus.
me too, man. If you believe that and you put this thing on your third eye, you put it on your third eye, you put it on your crown, you put it on your heart, and you resonate with the intention and the will and the commandment, man, this thing will come to like just like the all of superheroes, this will come one of your gadgets as a power source because they do. All of these modalities are some hypnotherapy, NLP, Reiki, all of these things require you to stop and still yourself to get in some state of silence and peace to recognize that it's you are the answer to the everything. Like, and once I got to that, and it's not, I can't say it's easy or hard for anyone because everybody's position is different. But once you make a decision, it's easy. The hardest thing to me and everyone that I have influenced or had any dealings with has been to make the decision to do something, because the do something seems to be the easiest part because we're creators of that thing we desire or intend to do. And as soon as we make up our mind to do it, then the source that is within us, the power, the infinite intelligence that we possess, will take over and move things around the universe and allow things to be. And that's how my experience has been. So I'm just saying, based upon my own experience, that power is within us, within the inside of us. For me, it's totally our source of power, and all of us have it. You just call it what you want. You have it.
I respect any idea. I more and more recently feel strong and strong about that sentence. I have the calling. I think that's an
Mhm.
old fashioned thing, but a calling does not reply to become a priest or this or that. I think it's just, it can happen to anyone that they have a calling to search and to start digging. And it's a
Oh,
very unique quality that some people have. And it's
yeah.
nothing to be proud of or whatever.
I get Give me chills, man. Seriously, because you're right. You're absolutely right. It's like we are the calling, the chosen. The chosen have been called. So it's exactly, it is what it is. And you have a and you know it. You know it because you can't be comfortable with the mundane. You can't be comfortable with the simple. It just doesn't fit. But like you said, some people require that. I was in the military. I wouldn't have made a career out of the military because I know that I don't need a supervisor in my life for the rest of my life. Some people need a supervisor, respectfully, just to maintain this hologram, this maze, this whole simulation. In order to maintain it, some people need that direction. But hey, man, I'm grateful that I shine any light that would give anyone the remembrance of themselves, because I'm not doing any, I'm not bringing anything new. I'm just making remember as best as I can by sharing what comes from me, is just making people remember who and what they are and the power that we have. I'm willing that people look at me and as like people, especially that look like me, because we're different. You know what I'm saying? People that don't look like me as well, but I notice that my community is different. They think some of this stuff is just, oh man, I can't do that, man. You better go do it. You better go do something, brother, because what you're doing is not working. Casting spells all the time on yourself, thinking that you're doing good others, and then you're going through the things that the spells are saying. Like it's proven that you're going through exactly what you're putting out, but it's not clear that you're putting it out because you think that it is in for justice and help and assistance. It's,
And let's go one step further now, a little bit, and see the spiritual work. Let's not come to the children yet. We'll come there in a moment. But let's come to
not a problem.
I forgot the part of our pre-conversation, but you work as a healer. Yes, you said you do many healing
That's
things. Can you a little bit take us
right.
through your everyday healing work? Are there clients? Is it one-on-ones? Is it live? Just a little bit. I
Okay.
like to get the feel for.
Okay. Okay. Well, I initially started in the entertainment field under NDA with some people because I came to California to do a specific job. But as I did my job, I found myself assisting others, and they started to request the things of my experience to share with them to compare how to get through. And I just realized that, okay, that was one of the callings. So I did that for the first 2 or 3 years, but because I was under NDA, I couldn't talk to certain people. I started feeling trapped because I only had 6, 7 people that I was dealing with. So I'm always talking to people. I've gone to many Tony Robbins events and Dean Gracio and so many different ones. And I'm like, I need to be open or available for people. So after I got away from under my last NDA, I started just basically doing some one-on-one, but it's been virtual. It's been I get clients from all kinds. I get clients from word of mouth more so because I hadn't started really advertising until like my mother made a transition a few months because I was so busy with that and I hadn't really focused on it as much. But the awareness of all of this has made me know that's what I'm supposed to do. So in the course of my day, I wake up, course, I give thanks. I give gratitude. When I do have clients, I'm always doing an attunement ahead of time. I do an attunement on the environment that I'm doing from. They come physically, then I pretty much have the environment already ready. But because I do more virtual than that, I set forth a space within inside of my little space here. I set forth a certain energy field that I put out, and just intending, willing, and commanding that the client allows the energy to be received, that they understand the power that they have is not me, that it's their power. They have to harness it, and we just have to agree that they can receive. And that's what I do with that part. And I make calls to 6 or 7 people a day because I do power calls. It's just like I have people that I care for, I love, and we keep in touch with each other. And we make sure that we call each other. And it's just we stay on the phone no longer than 5 minutes. Sometimes we'll do a conscious breathing meditation together, which is holding your right nostril, making an intention for 5 minutes. We'll do that to start. And then as far as the healing modalities, when I have people come through, the hypnotherapy sessions are pretty normal. It's just, I pretty much find out the most calm place that a person is within. You know what I'm
Uh,
saying? I've
You're
learned
doing hypnotherapy through online also.
mhm, online and virtually and in person. And let me tell you how I practice. I got a big family over here. So I've been able to really practice on, and sometimes with their knowledge and sometimes without their knowledge, because, and not being manipulative or anything, because it's my children. And on top of this, it's for the raising of the vibration, because I realize that NLP and hypnotherapy, all of these are manipulating modalities in a certain sense. They're just very positive in the sense of how they work when you take them
It's a
serious.
tool.
So
It's a tool.
it's a exactly, just like the tuning forks. I've had more response using tuning forks on my little ones than maybe a Reiki session. It's
Sure.
like, yeah, it's different modalities. And I have to say, each day is different, Philip. I get a call, like to yesterday, I got a call for my meetings today. At 3 o'clock, I got a session, and this is just a healing session to where the person wants to sit and do a Akashic Records meditation that I had created a while back. They became a part of the school community, and I shared it with them, and they said that they wanted to do it with me. So that was one of the things. And I do that. I just want to share energy, whatever way that I can. Like, I got all these modalities. I know how to do hypnotherapy. I know all of the steps. I do the NLP steps. I do Reiki, but I found that the most helpful is just us agreeing and vibing, and then deciding at that point, well, what do you feel most balanced to? Because some people are all the way live with crystals, but they don't like jive with the sound bowls. Some people know about tuning forks, but the sound bowl, even though it's frequency, like they like, I haven't never done that, but just realizing that all of it works, and sometimes you have to test
I
it.
hope you're not offended if I have the need to call you a true medicine man. In the
You know, I didn't get to it. I'm on the herbs too. That's the
no,
thing. Everything is backed up
it's
with.
a bigger word than
Oh,
just the herbs. It's
yes. It's
a
honor,
person's
man. It's
wisdom
honor.
who taps in all the sources, and you visit him in the hut, and he opens up the whole. He opens up. So I'd love to call you a medicine man with the deepest respect, because
Thank you, man. I
I
appreciate
like people who
I
are so
appreciate
fluid with their approach, and they tap in what is needed, and they have all the tools available, and then whatever comes. But and you will understand, which is
indeed.
like going to the next level, that holding the space. That's it. That's that the real job. Everything else is that's you can sprinkle the crystal, you can sprinkle, the Reiki or whatever, but holding the space, that's the one, right?
Indeed, and that's what I focus on my children with these switches. And with all everybody can have a switch to change something, and holding the space is about having that switch, knowing that switch exists for you all the time. Whatever you need to do to get to the highest point at any time, you need to find one thing that you can actually always relate to. And whatever it is, you can get to it. Because sometimes you're so fogged you don't even remember that you got to switch. No, put it in front of you. Make it as something that will automatic. And that's what's helpful me. Yeah, but staying in that space. And that's the work. Like Jim Rose said, you have to be a guard at your mind 24/7. I put 25/8 there because can't give your mind no time off. You know what I'm saying? Just for me, I realize I run right.
I think now it's time to come to a subject that I know we both are very passionate about, and that's the basic idea that one one of our main tasks as parents, except giving love and nurture and food and organizing a birthday, there's another thing that I know that you and me both feel very passionate about, is that opening the idea of spirituality, or laying a certain groundwork, whatever it manifests, how much, how little, but just to create the space within a small human being to look out there. Is there more? What is life all about? And that's it by the end of the
And,
day.
and
So let's talk a little bit about your idea, or maybe mine, a couple of minutes about what we do, what we
okay,
think is important, what we think matters to give the next generation to open themselves up to these questions. If you're Peter.
not a problem. Not a problem. I am strong on sharing everything that I possibly can with my seeds because childhood is a very small time compared to adulthood to life. So, and I really didn't miss childhood having to be a fast paced environment like that because Detroit, I literally grew up in Motown. My mom's, I meant to mention, my mom's cousin was Eddie Kendricks. He was the lead singer for the Temptations. So I saw a lot of stuff that a young child should probably not even see, but because of the life, it is what it is. But what we have to do is be open and honest with them about everything. First and foremost with ourselves, because I didn't get anything accomplished sincerely until I went to that mirror and took responsibility for the fact that I am responsible for my creation, everything that I do and everything that I illuminate out, I project out. And my children are just co-opted components. I'm a co-opted component to their experience. And I'm just here to really protect and not even guide in a sense, but allow them to have the experience because I'm about that freedom, man. I give them everything to study that I come across. And I realize that some things I learned later that I gave them that they really gave me more clarity. You know what I'm saying? Because they can see it from a more pure perspective. Because we as older people, we got a lot of stuff to filter through. The children, they have less to filter through. Fortunately, because they're chosen, they're called here for this work. A lot of times, if you give it to them, they'll tap in on a whole different level. And so that's what I really commit myself to is being free will with my children, letting them really have access to the understanding. And I started day one with the prayers and everything that was with meditation. What we do every day now, they wake up, they do the same thing, they meditate, they do Tai Bo, they do a lecture that is pertaining to raising the vibration. It's always something pertaining to the kind of the esoteric way of life, something pertaining to this alchemy that we have, the magic that we have access to. And that's really important to give the children now because they are the ancestors too. They are the ones that are older than us. And once you get them in remembrance of what it is, then I think the family structure can get there. The foundation can start to be strong, put back in place. Because right now, it's kind of off. You know what I mean? And I'm just grateful that I have teenagers and young adults and that respect and trust me to the point where they're willing to take what they have and share with their peers. And that's a big deal for me. Like we spoke about that. That is the biggest honor for me because in order for me to reach the youth, everybody not gonna want to listen to me just because I got the beard and I'm like not fit what is. And crystals, everybody it's not into crystals, but the younger ones, they're tapped in, brother. They know about these crystals. They like it adapts to them faster. The frequencies, they're much more adapt. My children have taken these frequency sessions and they've extended it up so much. And I see how it's going to affect their peers. I see how it already affecting our foundation. You know what I mean? So I'm a strong believer in just sharing everything that all the knowledge that you receive. And I know some things people say, no, you shouldn't tell your children that. Went and not told my children. I kept some things from my children. And I realized it cost me. And some things I realized I told my children that maybe I shouldn't have given them access so soon. So you really have to trust your intuition, trust the source within you, and know that you got the responsibility. You were entrusted with this other live being that has to depend on you. So I'm saying we don't own no children. We are here to assist them to their greatness. We have no ownership. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I feel, man. Like we have to share
Thank you so
to
much
the
for that
purest point.
part, because there are people who watching my podcast, they know that this is one of the themes that come over and over again when it fits, that I ask these questions
Mhm.
to a lot of guests already when it's appropriate. And so far I got like three common answers, right? One I've heard now the second, third time is what you say, I say honesty, right? Being straight with them, being honest with them, involving them. So that's one of the answers. Another one is curiosity, finding ways to instill curiosity, just keep them pushing to question, to ask, to It's a different thing.
Mhm.
And the third one I come across recently impressed me a lot. And it's said volunteering, exposing them to homeless, to give, to go there and give food to homeless people. These are the three things I've
Thank
encountered so far from my guests.
I appreciate I failed to mention this is a big deal for us. Ever since my children been old enough to do anything, we feed the homeless. We feed the homeless twice a month. In every place we've been, like we literally we don't go buy food to feed them. We cook the food. And I meant to mention that because that's another reason I know that my children have the compassion that they have because they've actually seen me give to people. And years later, a guy came back and he was suited, man. He had his dreadlocks were clean. He came back real suited. He had on nice shoes. And he said, "Hey man, how you doing?" I was like, "Thank you, grandma. I'm great, bro. How you doing?" And he said, "You're doing a great thing." I was like, "Man, thank you. I appreciate it." He said, "Kids out here." He said, "You don't remember me, do you?" I was like, "No, I don't, man. I apologize if I don't want mean to offend you, but I know I deal with a lot of people." He said that, "Man, you me 2 years ago, man, and you talked to me. And I've been feeding two people a week since you did that. And I got a job. I got a house. I don't even live over here, but I come over. Someone told me to come over here today, and I'm over here because I get to see you, and I want to give you a hug, and I want to thank you." My children saw it. And then one of my children was like, "I remember you. I remember you." That's what that right there was like one of the most awakening things ever. And I've always been one to give. My mother raised me like people that need are always the people that you're supposed to assist because you're going to need something at some point in your life. And if you've built a vibrational escrow, you can be sure that the universe is going to protect and take care of it. But if you haven't built up any vibration escrow by doing these things, then it's a good possibility you can experience a different love with them. So I'm just because I have so many children, I want to do the wrong thing.
It's it is very interesting because I live in Europe and we literally don't have that much of opportunities in a way to do the volunteering work because we have those social states who take care of everyone. We don't have homeless, we don't have hungry people. We just don't have it
That's
because the God,
that's
it's
beautiful.
and it's a great thing for the people, yeah, for sure. But so our culture
Mhm.
of volunteering is not as strong in the US because I can't bring food to homeless people if I don't have homeless people. But what we rather do is we try to go in the forests and pick up trash or in the rivers and try to pick up trash or stuff like that. And
Well, yeah,
that's our kind of volunteering we can do. And of course, try to point out awareness as much as we can to be respectful to, I don't know, if some working in the supermarket or any of these lower wage jobs to treat them with the same way. So that's a little bit how we can do our volunteering education compare where you can go
mhm,
straight, where it's really needed hands on, and give the food in the
mhm.
people's hand, which of course is a super strong visual.
I think it's really important because we have missions in both areas wherever we are because people need emotionally, regardless if they're homeless, if they have plenty. Emotion is where like we're doing what we can to assist people in the balancing of their discord, like the get peace. Because I realize the only thing that I so desire is peace. Not love as much as much as I thought I would. Love is automatic. You're a love being. If you put out love, you're going to get it. But peace, on the other hand, is a whole different thing because it comes with balance. And once you can get in this status of learning to balance, and that's what this process is for me. All these modalities, all this healing, me healing others or assisting, that's what balances and helps me heal. I can't be healed. I can't do anything without.
All right, so we had now our quiet moment in between. So it's we're almost making a movie here. It's like we follow the whole girl. Because
Awesome.
the
Yeah, man, I
the,
love it.
gra-
I
the
love
grand finale is coming on our way because we're going to talk about your children. Finally, for the audience, I had to keep like the white shark.
I understand
Yeah,
that. Harry, it's a lot. Well, I appreciate
you
it.
show the
I
white
totally do.
shark after you paid the ticket.
I got you.
And
That's
let me start with my question because I'm sure you could talk for hours about your children and that they are engaged, they're involved, they're
right.
doing their thing. And we spoke a lot in the meet and greet. But something
Mhm.
that really resonated with me, and I thought, let's start the last chapter from there, if it's okay with you. I love the
Always right.
idea that you said that they are found their own without you being involved, found their own mate and space, and I think TikTok or something like that to uh,
Mhm.
start reaching out, start sharing what is happening in their home and the things that they have learned, and then they're spreading it to the younger community. And if you take me there, I would really truly appreciate your kids' work on
Well,
TikTok and how it manifests.
thank you. Okay. Initially, like it was, like I said, I gave them freedom to learn and everything. And in that process, of course, social media is one of the things that they do gaming and stuff like that. But I suggested to them that because I trust you all and we've gone through enough as far as that's concerned, you guys should really take advantage of the fact that people see them a certain way. When we go out, my empress and I, my goddess and I, the children, when they're with us, people around us think that we're celebrities because they open doors for us. They don't let us do anything. We go in the store, we reaching for stuff, they grabbing it. And then people see that. We drive a 15 passenger high top dual wheel van. So you can't miss us. So when we pull up and 8, 9 people jump out and they're not all small and the two adults, all of the younger ones are like, so it seems like praising us in a sense. And I've never asked for that, but they do others the same way. So we're going up to the door, somebody's walking up to the door, they run up and open the door for them. Always wishing people great days and stuff like that. So as a result of that, I say, look, take it to social media among your peers, man. Have a dynamic here in this home that is totally different than and we videotape a lot of our outside experience because it's not normal how it in other people's experience. It's normal in ours, but not others. But it's the love that we share. And because of that, they've been able to literally bring me people. They bring the parents of the people that they associate with because they're on social media, on TikTok, they're on Facebook, they're on. Each one of them has a niche. And on top of that, not only are they doing that, they sing, they produce music, they do art, they do animation, they have decent supporters on the things that they're doing. And they're creating groups of people that are like younger groups of us, like the ones of us that are wanting to raise a vibration. I'm grateful that whatever I've said has tapped them into reaching that place. And that's what they've been doing. And because of that, it's given me, like I said, more credibility because people know you by your children, man. If you meet my children first, and this is what happens most of the time, people meet my children and they want to meet me. And when they meet me, they're like, dude, I'm not sure what you did or what you're doing, but your children are different. Keep doing the good work. And all I say is it's the love I show them, it's the sincerity, like the honesty we were talking about, being straightforward and them seeing me go through things and not breaking. When I fall, I get up. When I go through things, I don't press it upon no one else. I don't make the whole family stress. I take it my responsibility. And that's what I know being that example has assisted because I see them doing it. And it impresses me. It makes me have to stay on my square. Because even if I thought I could get off of it, now that I've co-created such good relationships and they have taken and extended it, I don't have a choice and I cannot slow it down because they've taken it to a different level. And yeah, they made awareness on TikTok and Facebook and YouTube and all these places and things of that nature. And it's impacted for us. And that's what I wanted to do when I was telling you. I want to keep on expressing the fact that we can get even more people on podcasts with the children. Those of us that dialogue with the older and younger ones so they can see us dialoguing. That'll make others comfortable. You know what I'm saying? That'll
Was
make them
exactly my point because I think it's so amazing and so great. And I'm so positive about the story you're telling me because if it happens naturally, if it's not like something that being pushed to a lot of TikTok moms or Instagram moms and all of that, it's borderline abusing. But I had a feeling from the start that this is a natural thing that grows in your family. The whole family is involved and engaged. And it's not something that you are forcing them. It's not like the Jackson Five who have to pray
yeah,
20 hours.
exactly. Exactly,
It's
man.
it's it
Exactly. You said it.
it's a flow thing. It's a flow thing. And if it's so great because it's amazing that the younger ones watching your kids on TikTok finally get in touch with some information, finally open up with some information. And I wish you a lot of success. And I wish you also commercial success because something has to come back. It's a give and take. It's an
Right.
exchange. And I hope that this is going to be something where, like in a year or two from now, like it's a world phenomenon, your family, your children as social guidance to the younger one, where we can only dream because the world needs it. Right?
Thank Thank you, man. I appreciate that. And you and I can agree to agree that's what it is. And so it is, because in the quantum field, some places it's already that way. We just have to bring it into this, you know what I'm saying? And I'm very grateful to know that we exist this way in other quantums, and it's possible. And like you said, it has really opened me up to be more compassionate to the fact of I know that this is the right thing to do. Yeah. I know it's the right thing to do. And the more we share with them, the more we stand a chance of our success for our humanity. You know what I mean? Because it's all over the place, man. It's all over the place. And I appreciate that will of power, because like it is, man, once we agree, then it is what it is. I've already envisioned it. I've envisioned my whole family being in a different place of, and I'm not talking about material wise. I'm talking about just in a space assisting so on such a vast level. That's what we are known for. That's what, when you hear my name, you hear healing in my name. When you hear anything that we do, when you hear a song that's sung, or you hear a poem that's written, or a voiceover that's done, anything like that, it's I want to have that effect to where it's the energy is so powerful you cannot deny. And that's all we got to do is stay present. This presence is what it is. You know what I'm saying? It's all the way what it is. And I know that we possess the energy. They possess more of the energy when we give it to them in clear and free and no strings. Like you said, I'm no pressure, man. No pressure. I cannot apply pressure, because I realize the things that I did when I was younger and what I didn't get right and what I did get, what I thought I got right, and realized later on it wasn't right. I'm
Yeah,
just here to love.
and I don't know what's going on. I mean, I'm just basically now. I mean, I met you the second time, so who am I to say anything? But
Yeah,
but as you said, people react to you. People watch you walking around the streets. You're creating the space. You're creating the energy, and you should be in leaders and showing other families that spirituality and love can be real. It can it's important that if one has something going on, one also has the one is one.
abilities.
y- You know what I mean? If you have it going
So,
on, if you have to
yeah,
choose this, if you got the mojo, you got to share.
you got to do it. You got to do it. That's been the thing. I'm like, I have you just confirmed something, because for the last few months, like I said, after my mother made a transition, it took me a minute to get to the focus of doing, but that's what she is illuminating. You got to share. You got to share these experiences, and not even though even me going through the process of the stage 4 cancer and watching my mother deteriorate, watching her have to deal with the process of the memory loss, which I have a whole different opinion of memory loss now, because the elders seem to tap into the other realm, not necessarily lose memory. It's just they don't have any. After a certain point, there's nothing necessary for them to be connected to here once they are preparing for the exchange. That's and my mother, because the reason I say that is because my mother, in several occasions, more than 7 to 8, she bought my uncles, she bought my relatives that had already gone across the veil on the other side of the veil in presence to me. And I was able to communicate in real time. That's why I know there's no such thing as death. I know that we're really working this thing out. And as it is, the more we share to the youngsters, the more I think the elders are going to share to us, exactly, the ancestors, like all of the things that we need or we should have to raise the vibration, we'll get.
Yeah, the,
Will be
the
that.
the word I was struggling, should I say it or should I not? It was on the tip of my tongue because I was trying to think three thoughts at the same time. I wanted to say the word obligation, but then I don't sure because is it right? Is it not right? Is it a word that is appropriate and covers the whole field? Because you're
Yes.
receiving so much energy and love from your ancestors. You're becoming one thing or not a vessel, a growing vessel. And does it now? That's the word obligation. Oblige you once you become a leader, once you become an example, once you have a thing going on, right? To share and show other families with children who maybe don't make space for spirituality, don't make space for volunteering, don't make space for talking honest with each other. And let's just stay it there. Let's just stay on the first level. it's so important to me that you
It
keep doing what you're doing, because every person you can reach out and just show them, listen, we have something going on. We do some volunteering. We're talking honest with each other. We're making space for each other. We're creating love. And let's just keep it there. You don't even have to go into the Reiki and stuff, the crystals.
because it works itself. It works itself because I'm telling you, just like I said, those healing modalities become the last part once you get into the connection to someone because it's like healing is in the words. Yeah, we might do a meditation, we might do the session, but sometimes, like you said, it's really more so the process of exactly what you said because my healing modalities and everything are for the youth. They're for the everyone, but I realize I have more opposition with the elders than I do with you. You know what I'm saying? The elders are more stuck in their ways unless they have had an awakening, and I just happen to be the who or that light that they were supposed to see at that time because you never know that. But I realize that I get more pushback from some of the elders because they're set in their way, especially when it comes down to them debating me about religion and I don't debate. Like, if you don't believe something, then you well, I'm grateful to know that still
We are coming to the end of this podcast. I'm so hopeful and positive. First of all, I've met you, and maybe one day you'll come back to another episode, bring 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 11, 9, 12.
have no man, look, they ready to come too. They're ready, man. Ready.
Bring,
So
I'd love to have them in one episode and hear their side of the story, like a part two. What's the old man's thing?
and indeed, indeed. And they don't have a problem with speaking freely because that's what it's all about. I'm not nudging them, telling them, hey, you gotta no, man.
Uh,
Listen, if I don't allow them to, I don't get to be. You know what I'm saying? So I'm
I,
grateful.
I leave the last words to you. I just want to say from the bottom of my heart that, first of all, I feel with you and your mom. Of course, it's a hard transition. There's a lot of process, and you take the time that is required. We understand transition, and that's a thing. But I wish you and your family that path that you have started, that your kids have started, that you give them the space and the support and the wisdom of being a leader in your family to open the space, to hold the space to to really get a viral worldwide stock to show every household in the States that love is important, volunteering is important, being honest is important. And come on, if that message can be spread, each and every click is a present to the gods and not from the gods. Thank you so much. And I open the
Thank you.
floor to you.
Thank you so much. As we spoke, that is my obligation, my friend, truly. And I'm going to influence and inspire as much as I can for them to do, but they don't have a problem. They already have the torch and they really are sincerely embedded in that. And that, like I said, even though I'm saying I am a healer, my healing modalities or my healing only comes from the ability to the love that I get and receive from them supporting and trusting me and putting that energy into me because this mastermind is the one that has agreed to be a healing family. So I'm in agreement to anytime that I can show up in support of the family to show an example, because that's truly what we're doing. We're just creating more and more videos and dropping them every day to present this family structure to know because it is what it is. They always talk about this family structure is in a bad place, and it is. It really is. But we are. I'm not buying, man. I'm not buying. I'm here to make sure that we somebody represents, and because my loved ones have agreed that we will do this, I'm just grateful to take on the responsibility, and I am committed and obligated. And thank you so much for the opportunity to even share this. And I have a book coming out roughly on the 28th of February, which is I Am Chosen. I just bumbled up, excuse me. I Am Chosen, the epitome of resilience, affirmed. That is the type, and it will be released. I'll be doing marketing and everything, but it's the life story. It's these explanations of how we became to get here and where we are now, and the expression of exactly what we're speaking about, allowing the youth and
My friend, you started with the most humble of self introduction. And you showed the world what's really going on with you. And you did not use this little podcast with me to talk 50 minutes about a book and the promotion. You shared your true beliefs, your energy, your love, your story. And at the end, you just a little bit said, by the way, there's a book coming. Come on, you're showing second by second
Thank you.
the greatness and the spirit that's all around you. Thank you so much for coming here, and anytime you're welcome to come back. See you.
I appreciate you. Love, peace, love, and prosperity. So look forward to speaking.
Thank you.